live for my first video of 2022. This video is just because for my day job right now I'm doing training and I just don't want to rush and come out with videos that are not of a proper quality. So instead, here I am, I'm gonna do this live video. I'm gonna tell you what's going on and what is coming in 2022. And then as soon as I'm done with training and I have 5 free minutes to actually shoot and edit properly a video, we're gonna make more video with the Africa Twin, with the TUONO, with the Scrambler, and with the KTM 525 EXC. Right now, as I said, I'm doing training for my new day job. As amazing as it might seem, I do not make enough money out of this to be a full-time YouTuber, which is, it sounds stupid when I refer to me as one, because I don't really make anything. So I am by trade a pilot. Airplanes, helicopters, anything that flies, I fly. In reality, anything with an engine, I either fly, drive, sail, or whatever else you can do with it. So right now for my day job, I'm being sent all over the United States for training, and which leaves very little time to do proper videos. But we are here, it's 2022, a ton of new motorcycles are out there, and we have the Africa Twin, which we used quite a bit last year. I'm gonna keep going with videos with the Africa Twin, mostly because it's the most recent motorcycle. Therefore, it's the motorcycle that it's the novelty. That's what I want to do. That's what I want to ride. That's what I want to do work on. When it comes to the Scrambler, we've done a ton of work, maintenance, upgrades, accessories installed on it. So there is not much going on. What I'm gonna do is make a video on the Scrambler to recap and show every single mod and every single accessory that I've installed throughout the years. Then we're gonna see, I guess, so many phone calls, so many messages asking me to sell the Scrambler to them. So I get so many messages, people asking me to sell them my Scrambler. I like the Scrambler, but I'm not quite sure what else I can do to it. So I'm starting to get those messages more and more seriously. I'm gonna try to resist the temptation of getting rid of it, because I know there is a lot of you out there that actually love the Scrambler and that actually follow me because they want to watch videos about the Scrambler. But on the other hand, there is not much more I can do to it, and it would be nice to get that out of the garage and possibly bring something new in, maybe even another Scrambler, and start from scratch. There's so many possibilities out there. But then we also have the Aprilia. We are at the point with the Aprilia where every new mod and accessory that goes on the Aprilia, we are gonna start talking about thousands. So it's not the few $100s here and there for mods and repairs. Now we're talking about thousands of dollars. So we'll see. The Aprilia is not going anywhere. If there is one bike among all those bikes that is not going anywhere, it's the Aprilia TUONO. Uh, Now, let's move on to the Africa Twin. I have so many videos I want to make on the Africa Twin. I love it. The more I ride it, the more I love it. When I did my trip from Los Angeles to Seattle, I really fell in love with the way it rides. Mind you, my first adventure bike was the F800 GS, and it was a great bike. It was tough as nail and slow as a snail. It felt like a tank. It could not be destroyed, but on the other hand, didn't have the suspension range that the Africa Twin has, didn't have the engine that the Africa Twin has. This engine is fantastic, and it wasn't quite as comfortable as the Africa Twin on long trips. So when I got my hand on it and I got the chance to go on a long trip, I loved it. I totally fell in love. I can't wait to do another long trip somewhere and hopefully swing by and see some of you guys on the road. Which will bring me to my first video that I'm gonna come out with probably early February. Is gonna be on how to tour or to adventure around on an adventure bike if you blew all your money on the bike itself, which obviously happened to me. I spent everything I had saved for the Africa Twin, and when it came to bags and accessories and apparel to ride on a long trip, I had to make do with what I had, and I keep hearing out there a lot of people that keep saying that they need $20,000-$30,000 to be able to afford the bike and then go out there and go on a long trip, on an adventure. That is not the case. That Africa Twin was the bare minimum you can buy. It was literally the $14,399 MSRP, which I was able to get at that exact price. And to that, I literally added very few things that I thought were necessary to add a little extra comfort for my trip. So I'm gonna make the video on how to do it for cheap without having to spend thousands of dollars for the panniers and $600, $700, $800 for a jacket, $400, $500 pants and boots, and however you look out there, every single journalist that makes videos and reviews $500, $600, $700 items that as a normal person you can't afford. Doesn't matter how good those items are, I cannot afford $1,000 panniers for the Africa Twin because I spent everything I had on the Africa Twin itself. Same thing, I can't buy a $1,000 Gore-Tex adventure jacket because that's silly. I don't have $1,000 to throw out there. I know there are people out there that can afford $1,000 jacket, $500, $600 pants, $400, $500 boots. That's not me. That is not most of the people I know. So we're gonna make this video and see if I can give you a few pointers on how to actually have fun, go on a proper adventure without breaking the bank. Another video that I need to make on the Africa Twin is installing the crash bar. I got a full set of crash bars ready for it. They're actually down here, which I can't show you right now because my bench right now, it's a mess, a full-on mess. Raw. Trust me, I have Eids crash bars that came from Poland. I had the same brand on my F800 GS, and they're super strong and super well made. So I got the same brand for the Africa Twin. We're gonna install that, and then I'm gonna install most likely a center stand, because for most maintenance, somehow the center stand is kind of almost essential. And then just because I want to install heated grips, it's gonna be the Honda OEM heated grips, because I know the Oxford are much better, but I live in California. Right now it's the middle of the winter, and today was 77 outside, which translated in Celsius, what is it, 22 degrees Celsius, something like that. So even in the middle of winter, it doesn't get that cold, and I much rather have the heated grips that are integrated with the bike properly and give me a little bit of comfort, rather than heated grips that will catch my hands on fire, but at the same time I have little displays and little things off all over the bikes. I don't want it. Then there is another question I've been asked a ton for the Africa Twin, and the question is, do I really need a GPS if I go on an adventure? I have a few ideas, because the system on the Africa Twin, it's a great system. The big screen up front with Android Auto or Apple CarPlay fitting into it, it's great. The only problem is, for example, when I was going through the redwoods here in California, I would lose cell coverage and GPS coverage on the phone. So I'm gonna see if I can get a Bluetooth GPS receiver, and if that works, at that point you can have the Bluetooth receiver Bluetooth to your phone, and the phone feeding info to the Africa Twin. No need for an extra Garmin up there, which I understand some people want to have it there. I don't. I want the minimum amount of stuff on the bike itself. So it's gonna be, if this pandemic ends, I might be able to actually go out there and review new bikes. I'm gonna try to go and review a few bikes that I really want to get my hand on, and see how that goes. Last year I tried really hard to get my hands on a few adventure bikes and on a few brand new naked bikes, and there was always a problem. Even when I was searching around for which bike to buy between the Tiger, the Africa Twin, the Yamaha Tracer 9 GT, and a few others, I couldn't get my hands on a few bikes because, oh, we don't do test rides anymore. Oh, you gotta make an appointment, and my schedule being what it is, and just like anybody else, my time, it's kind of limited. Although even when the pandemic was in full effect, because my line of work, I was working more than ever. I was actually out there flying my butt off because of the pandemic. But if there is any suggestion, if there is any video that you guys want me to make, either on the Africa Twin, on the KTM, on the Scrambler, or on the Aprilia TUONO, let me know. This is the time, and I'm gonna try to get everything done. I do have a list because some of you actually write me and request videos. So, and every time one of you guys send me an email or a message on Instagram, which, by the way, if you want up-to-date live informations or of what I'm doing, Instagram is probably the best place. I don't do YouTube. Sorry. Obviously, I don't do Facebook. I definitely don't do the other one with the 280 characters. I don't do Twitter. I don't do most of those social medias. Are a nuisance to me, so I don't do it. The only thing I do is Instagram and YouTube. YouTube because I like to watch video and make videos. Instagram because I like to watch pictures or look at pictures and take pictures. So besides, nothing good has ever come from a tweet. I see stuff out there and everybody's getting in trouble for it. So I like to keep my day job because it pays the bills. So I don't do Twitter. Follow me on Instagram so you can get the most up-to-date news on what I'm doing. Other than that, I see there is right now a few of you out there watching me yap around. Feel free to ask any question on the chat. I'm monitoring the chat, and if you have any question, now is the time to do it. Other than that, I'm gonna do what I do and try to bring all my videos without the pressure of having to talk well. I don't know if you guys understand. Every time I review something, most likely I had to buy it myself. So there is no pressure behind from whatever manufacturer for me to say good things about it. Obviously, if I buy it myself and then I review it, is because I extensively research it, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna be something that I like, and it's gonna be something that works well. So usually the reviews are kind of positive, mostly because I'm very, very excited when I get something new. But I'm gonna try to keep bringing stuff to you guys with unbiased opinions on it, and let's see how it goes. Now, disclaimer: with my new job, my pay is being reduced substantially, so I don't have all that disposable income to just keep buying stuff to put on the bikes. So bear with me. It might take me a little longer to save up some money to buy the pieces and the accessories to install on the bike. If I'm able to get some time off this summer, we're gonna go on a long adventure. I want to go this time around. I want to go towards Utah because I flew over it, and I've been in Salt Lake City for training lately, and it's beautiful. And I want to see how it feels to go out there with the Africa Twin. Hopefully by then my tires will be needing replacement, and I'm gonna probably put something a little knobbier, most likely the TKC 80 or something like that. I want something that when I go off-road with it, I have enough traction to make the bike do it, rather than like right now. I've been going off-road and I'm jumping it and sliding it. It slides a lot, and those tires are, as much as Honda wants to tell you that those are off-road tires, they are not off-road tires. They're atrocious off-road, and they do not hold the line. On the other hand, you slide around a lot, which is kind of fun when the slide is from the rear wheel rather than the front wheel. But here it is, and I'll probably feel like pushing a little more once those crash bars have been installed on it. When it comes, I'm mixing up a whole bunch of stuff. Is because all the messages I've been receiving while I was off and all the questions. When it comes to the skid plate, this time around with F800GS, out of the blue, I bought a whole bunch of stuff: skid plate, crush bars, and all sorts of other stuff that in the end I didn't really need. This time around, I'm going to keep the OEM crush bar until it dings, until it bends. Once that's bent and scratched up and needs replacement, I'm going to replace the crush bar, because somehow when it comes to adventure bikes, every company feels like they can charge whatever the hell they think it's right. So a piece of aluminum bent 3 times on for a skid plate is north of $300-400, which I think it's insane. I thought it was insane when I spent $250 for the GS skid plate, but I've seen the Altrider skid plate and a few other skid plates for the Africa Twin, and it's madness, full-on madness. I wish I knew how to weld aluminum and build them myself, but which maybe instead of spending $500 on a skid plate, I'll spend $500 in welding lessons and learn how to weld a skid plate together. I'm pretty sure there is more to that in research and development from Altrider and all those other big companies out there. But I don't know, the guy, I mean, really, $500-600 for a skid plate? That's crazy. Anyway, we got some messages from Oscar Graf. Oscar is writing from Chile, and he's asking about the F800GS. The F800GS found a new home from actually the guy that sold me the KTM over there. Bought my F800GS, so it wasn't an exchange, because I got the KTM a few months prior. But then the guy started. We used to work together. He was asking me about buying an adventure bike, and it would be his first proper adventure bike. And he was looking exactly what I had. He was looking for an adventure bike with less than 10,000 miles, check, which was between 2014 and 2019, and I had a 2015, so check, good conditions, fully ready to go, which my F800GS came with panniers, with a top box, with crush bars, and everything on the catalog you can think of. So when I told them, at that point I hadn't bought the Africa Twin just yet, and I wasn't planning on, but he was asking, and I was like, did you want my F800GS? And he was like, yes, I'll come pick it up tomorrow. And I was like, oh, all right, wait. And he took it. So I'm sorry to say, I do have an extensive library of F800GS videos, but my F800GS is gone. I still have an enormous amount of knowledge on maintenance stuff on an F800, and most likely, if he has any problem, he's going to bring it back to me. And if that happens, I'll fix it for him and make a video about it. But it's a strong bike. It's a reliable bike. So chances of him having problem with it, probably not much. But let's see. We have a few more messages. Let's go through. We have Philip. Is her plastic skid plate viable for ADV bikes? I'll go their route with a lightweight DualSport on the way. Actually, Philip, first of all, thanks for writing. Second, That's exactly what I have on the KTM EXE 525 over there. It's a plastic skid plate, and it slides much better than the metal one, and it protects just as well. Those nuke-proof, bomb-proof skid plates that everybody puts in, I'm starting to think they're a little bit of an over the a little bit over the top. That a plastic skid plate will do much better. Besides, it doesn't ding and it doesn't bend. So when it gets bent, it bends back out. But to hit it hard enough to damage what's underneath the plastic skid plate, you really need to get on it. Like, you really mean to do some damage. So I think it's a very viable option for a lightweight DualSport, and I probably prefer it to a metal one. When it comes to a giant heavy bike like 500 pounds over here, maybe I would go with aluminum. Would be great if it was aluminum with plastic rails underneath to slide a little better, but we'll see. Let's see, let's keep going. We have Augustine, let's see. Hi Albe, nice to see you. It's funny, I still have my F800 GS. It was exactly as the one you had. And now my best off-road friend has the same Africa Twin you have now. Augustine, first of all, obviously everything I chose, it's a great choice. So your F800 GS was a great choice. I'm being sarcastic here, guys, because sometimes I say something sarcastically and it comes across as I'm boasting or I'm joking. But no, the F800 is a great bike and you made a great choice. Your friend, on the other hand, by buying the Africa Twin, he made an even greater choice. But I'm happy you're watching the video right now, and happy you actually left a message on. And every adventure bike, it's a great bike to have. There is so much to do, so much fun, and so much freedom that comes with adventure bikes. I was always a street rider. I always had crotch rocket growing up. And when I got my F800 GS, it was a revelation. There is so much more to motorcycling than just going a million miles an hour as fast as you can, dragging knees. There's so much more. I slowed down for once with an adventure bike and I noticed all the beauty around me, and I actually enjoyed what was around me rather than I gotta go fast, I gotta scrape my knee, and on and on. Let's see, tried the KTM 890 ADV-R a few weeks ago. If you can, I'd like to see you try one and see your opinion. When I went on my trip up to Seattle, I met many people with an 890, and everybody kept boasting about how good of an off-road bike the KTM 890 Adventure R is, and I agree. It's a fantastic off-road bike. But first of all, personally, I like the way it looks from the top of the engine up. From the top of the engine down with that big belly, it looks like a pregnant guppy, and it's not my taste. Too bad, because I was utterly in love with the KTM 1090 Adventure R that was there before. but I just can't get my head wrapped around the fact that this big plastic tank down there, and I understand they're good for center of gravity and everything else, but this is not, it's not me. I just can't. I like the bike to be slender. I like it to look like a Dakar bike. So like the T7, I like the Africa Twin, and most of the other bikes I tested. That's not to say that if I can get my hands on an 890, I'm gonna try it out, because everything I heard about the 890, it's good. So yeah, I would love to test it, and I would love to compare the engine and the street prowess to the Africa Twin, because a big 1100cc engine like the Africa Twin, it's great on the freeway, low RPM, 70, 80 mile an hour, depending on the speed limit. It just keeps tracking, and it's right there where the RPM are high enough that you can just open gas and the power band, it's right there, and the bike pounds forward and past cars or whatnot. But if I can, I'll test it. Let's see. So happy when he drops. Yes. All right. I don't know if the rest of you can see the chat. Most likely the people that are going to watch this video later on cannot. So Augustine is saying that he's not so happy. His friend is not so happy when he drops the Africa Twin. And yes, it is a heavy bike. But on the other hand, I'm a heavy guy. So for me, it's not that big of a deal unless it's completely upside down on a ravine or something. Then it's going to be a problem. But I understand. On the other hand, the F800 GS wasn't that much lighter than the Africa Twin, so keep the rubber side down and the rest of the bike side up. We have CWs. Just sold my Ducati Desert Sled here in the UK, and it's for the 2020 Africa Twin Adventure Sport. Will the Honda be more reliable? I had a lot of bother with the Ducati. Thanks for your videos. CW, thank you for joining us today. The Desert Sled, it's a beautiful bike, like beautiful. You see it out there, and you're like, oh man, I really want that bike. It looks so good. Then depends what you want to do with it. If you want to tour, not the greatest bike out there. If you want to go off-road, not the greatest bike to off-road with out there. Reliability wise, in the new Ducatis are usually reliable, but sometimes it's a hit or miss. Sometimes you get that lemon that somehow comes out and it gives a lot of problem. My own scrambler had no problem whatsoever, but because I make video about a scrambler, I keep getting emails about other people that problems with the scrambler that I never even heard of. So there is always that chance. When it comes to the Africa Twin, right now the only problem I've had is after my trip. When I came back, one of the sensors on the left side of the engine it's up front, bottom of the engine. I wish I could show you a picture right now. Was sipping a little bit of oil. Apparently the O-ring on the sensor wasn't put in properly. I took it to the nearest Honda dealer, not even the one I bought it from. I took it there, they called Honda have the whole work redone. It took about a week. They replaced the sensor and the O-ring, and the leak is gone. And that was the only problem I've ever had. Other than that, what I have, 6,000 miles on it right now, and nothing has gone wrong, nothing at all. So I'm very, very happy. I'm pretty sure the Africa Twin will not disappoint. I had multiple Hondas throughout the years, and none of the Hondas I've ever had major problems. No electrical gremlins whatsoever. All the components and the assembly is done properly, so I'm pretty sure you'll have no problem. If you don't do a lot of off-road, it might be worth to take a look at the DCT. When I test drove the DCT, I liked it, but because I'm old, because I'm thick in the head, when I go off-road, I like to have the gears. As a matter of fact, even though you can put it on off-road mode and the traction control is reduced, the ABS is reduced, wheelie control is reduced, and you can do off-roading just fine with the system the way Honda decided to set it up. When I go off-roading, I completely turn off ABS, which is doable, as much as everybody says, no, you can't do it. It's doable. I believe the front wheel, the ABS stays on, but the rear wheel, you can turn it off completely, and you can slide for miles on a downhill if you like to. I turn off traction control completely, and it's doable, as much as I heard some people saying that no, you cannot completely remove the traction control. It is, and it's not that difficult either. And once you're done removing all those aids, you have a ton of orange light on the desk. I say on the desk, on the dash, sorry. But it's doable, so traction control. And one thing, if you want the traction control to be deactivated completely, one thing you gotta do as well is to turn off wheelie control. Because if you turn off the traction control alone and you're uphill going up and it's bumpy and the wheels are sliding and coming off the ground, the wheelie control is gonna think that you're wheeling and is gonna wanna put the wheel down. So turn off the wheelie control completely as well. Lots of orange light or amber light, whatever they wanna call it. It's doable, and that becomes analog. So it's gonna be wrist and brakes. And but the DCT was super nice, and at times on a long trip, I think it'll come really, really handy on the road. To help myself, I put in a quick shifter on mine, which works flawlessly. And but if I wasn't that thick in the head for going off-road, I might have actually gone for the DCT version. So keep an eye on it. If you get a chance to test drive it, even better. We have more. Let's see. Philip is saying that he's getting into off-road riding, and it's very different and fun. Been riding for 5 years, but mostly street riding. Usually it's the other way around. Usually it's the other way around in the United States. I grew up in Italy. I grew up in Rome, where to find a patch of dirt, you pretty much need to get into some park, and you're not allowed to get in it on a dirt bike. So I grew up riding street, and then I moved to the off-road. One thing I understood is off-road is way more taxing on your body. Like it takes a lot of strength to ride off-road, and it's coming from the street, you're not used to the bike breaking loose as much as it does off-road. One thing I can say, when you fall off-road, it's not as bad as falling on the street. Usually there is no other cars that are gonna run you over, which is a plus. And usually, although dirt is pretty hard, it's not as grippy, or it does not, how you say, it's not as abrasive as asphalt. So you'll fall, you'll slide. If you're on grass, even better. Literally, you don't even have to dust yourself off. Just get up, back on the bike, and off you go. And it's a lot of fun. Going off-road, it's a lot of fun. And it's legal to pop wheelies off-road, so you're not gonna get in trouble on that. And wheelies are a lot of fun as well. How long have we been here? How long have I been annoying you guys? It seems like a long time. It's a whole bunch of you out there right now. It's just a whole bunch. I wasn't expecting that. It was, as my usual, I pop a live without saying anything to anybody. I send a message to my patrons on the Discord server, just to let them know, hey guys, I'm doing a live. But other than that, I don't say anything to anybody. I just pop on the air, and usually a whole bunch of you swing by and leave a comment. So I really appreciate it. Now, so to conclude, I'm gonna get back on my regular publishing schedule in February, as soon as I'm done with my day job training. And if there is any videos you guys want to request, get in touch with me. I usually reply every single comment, and if the comment doesn't need a reply, at the very least I'll give you a thumb up or a heart. It depends. Unless it's something stupid, then sometime I just avoid that altogether. But if you want a specific video, just write a comment, put it out there, and I will do my best to help you out. Don't ask me to put a full suite of all-in suspension on the Africa Twin. I can afford it. I'm just like you guys. I cannot afford those $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 parts on the motorcycles. Do you still, Philip? Oh, sorry, Philip. Yes, I do still have the TUONO. The TUONO is right there right now. I think it's out of sight, but it's just beside the Scrambler. The Scrambler is the one covered with the blue covers over there, and the Aprilia TUONO is right next to it. Right now it's on a tender, battery tender, because I've been coming and going from home, and I haven't rode it in a while. So, but I still have it. I'm still gonna make videos on it. I love it. Among all the bikes, as I keep saying, the TUONO has the least chance of getting sold. Probably second one is the Africa Twin. I like the Africa Twin so much. I don't think I can sell it right now. In 5 years or so, we'll see. Because I was saying as well that I would never sell the F800 GS, but then, well, then time went by. 5 years, 6 years went by, and better bikes came out, and well, I sold it. But anyway, it's enough for one day. Thank you very much to all of you, and I've seen the count going up and down. I really appreciate you guys stopping by and listen to me yap. Stay tuned. Follow me on Instagram. I'll give you an update of where I am, what I'm doing, a picture here, a picture there, and it's the best I can do right now. But nothing. Thank you very much. Ride on, work on your bike, and I'll see you next time. And now, the always awkward way of trying to figure out how to shut off the live. Maybe